I was stacking dishes into the washer when my phone rang. Unknown number. Normally I'd let it go, but something in my chest tightened, like I already knew this wasn't a telemarketer. Hello? I said. Mom? The voice was shaky, like it had been crying for a while. It's me. Ellie, what's going on? Whose phone is this? I'm at the police station, she said. Aunt Carla smashed my phone. She said I hit her. I dropped the plate I was holding. It cracked on the tile. What do you mean she said you hit her? What the hell is going on? She showed up to my party. I told her to leave, and Mom, I swear I didn't touch her. I didn't do anything. She said I shoved her and she fell. It's not true. Where are you? I was already grabbing my keys. My husband, Rick, was in the living room. I didn't even explain. I just said, Ellie's at the police station. Carla accused her of assault. He was on his feet in seconds. Quick note, before we go further, tell us where you're watching from right now. We were out the door in under a minute. I barely remembered to lock it behind me. The police station was only 15 minutes away, but it felt like an hour. My mind was racing. Carla? Assault? My daughter? We stormed into the front lobby. The place smelled like stale coffee and sweat. Ellie was sitting on a hard plastic chair, arms crossed, face pale. Her mascara was smudged. There was an officer behind the counter, calm like this was just another Tuesday. Ellie! I rushed to her. She stood up and wrapped her arms around me like she hadn't seen me in years. They said I can go home, she whispered. There's no charge yet. Just an investigation. What happened? Rick asked the officer. She was brought in for questioning after a domestic incident. There was an accusation of physical assault, but based on what we have so far, there's no grounds to hold her. The report's been filed, though. This isn't over. I looked at Ellie. She looked destroyed. I didn't do anything, she said again. I didn't push her. She made it all up. Rick had his arm around her. I reached for her hand. We're getting you home, I said. We'll figure it out from there. We walked out of that building like it was on fire. Ellie sat in the back seat, bundled in Rick's hoodie, staring out the window like the dark would give her answers. I watched her through the rear view, waiting. After a mile of silence, she finally spoke. She wasn't even invited. Carla? Rick asked, keeping his voice calm. Barely. Ellie nodded. She just showed up. I was cutting the cake, and the doorbell rang. I thought maybe it was Grams or Uncle Pete, but it was her, with two girls I've never seen in my life. Who? I asked. I don't know their names. They looked college age. One had a sorority sweatshirt on. They were already drinking when they walked in. Like, full-on buzzed, Rick's knuckles tightened on the steering wheel. They didn't say hi to anyone. They just grabbed plates, started pouring drinks, cranked up music on a speaker they brought. People were staring. I told her it was a school night party. Like, chill, it's just my birthday dinner, not Mardi Gras. She laughed and called it boring. Ellie's voice cracked. She said I was too uptight, just like my mom. Then she toasted to family, the ones who actually show up. Everyone was uncomfortable. She always needs an audience, I muttered, even if it's strangers. I didn't want to ruin the night, Ellie went on. So I waited, but they just got louder. One of her friends kept making fun of my friend Melanie's hair, like out loud, calling it crunchy. I told them to keep it down. Carla rolled her eyes, then said, You're acting like your mom owns this house. I do own the house, I snapped. Yeah, I know. So I told her I was going to call you. She was standing near the porch door. I pulled out my phone and I said, You need to go. Or, I'm calling my mom. That's when she snapped. Ellie looked down at her hands like they weren't hers. She lunged. I didn't even see her coming. She grabbed the phone right out of my hand and slammed it down on the porch. It shattered. Then she screamed, like this high-pitched shriek, and threw herself backwards down the steps. What? Rick turned fully around at a red light. She threw herself, like she let herself fall. It looked fake, like in slow motion. Then she curled up and started crying, saying I pushed her. Her friends ran over, yelling that they saw it happen, like they had the lines ready. My stomach twisted. Jesus, Ellie. Are you sure you didn't? Mom, I didn't touch her. I never laid a hand on her. Ask anyone there. She was shaking now, tears finally breaking. Rick reached back and squeezed her arm. She told the cops I shoved her in a fit of rage, Ellie whispered. They said it was her word against mine. I couldn't even call you. She smashed everything we pulled into the driveway, porch lights still on, balloons drooping on the mailbox. a deflated happy birthday sign barely hanging. I just wanted a normal night, she said. I parked and turned around to face her. We believe you. Got it? She nodded, wiped her face, and opened the door. She didn't wait for us. She went straight inside like she couldn't get away from that night fast enough. I followed Ellie into the house and locked the door behind us. She went straight to her room without another word. I stood in the hallway for a second, heartbeat still thumping in my ears, and then it hit me. The camera. Rick had installed one last fall, pointed toward the backyard and porch, mostly for package thieves. I didn't even take off my shoes. Rick, I said, moving fast toward the living room. The porch cam, it would have caught it. His eyes lit up. You're right. Come on. We rushed to his office. He sat down at the desk, powered up the monitor, and pulled up the footage archive. I stood behind him, arms crossed so I wouldn't start shaking. Tell me the time, he said. Right around 8:30. That's when she called me. He clicked through the timeline, then stopped. Here. There it was, clear as day. Carla snatching the phone out of Ellie's hand and whipping it onto the porch floor. The sound of the screen cracking echoed, even through the mic. Ellie froze. Carla screamed and stumbled backward like a bad high school theater act. Her sandal caught on the top step and she fell, arms flailing, fake crying the whole way down. She stayed on the grass, curled up and moaning like someone had stabbed her. Then the two girls ran over, asking if she was okay. One of them looked right at the camera, dead on, and still said, "She pushed you." I saw it. Rick sat back in his chair and muttered, "That's perjury on film." I just stared. She did all that on purpose. And they helped. Ellie stood in the doorway behind us, arms wrapped tight around herself. It won't matter, she said, voice flat. People will believe whatever they want. I walked over and wrapped her in my arms. It matters. Maybe not to them, but it matters here. She leaned into me like a kid again. Rick clicked through the footage and copied it onto a thumb drive. Then he emailed it to his work server. Just in case, he said. Off-site backup. I nodded and kissed the top of Ellie's head. Go rest. We'll handle the rest. She turned away without saying anything. I stayed in Rick's office, staring at the paused frame on the screen. Carla's face twisted, fake tears streaking her cheeks, the other girl's mouth mid-lie. It made my blood boil. Rick stepped out to check the doors. I pulled out my phone, opened Facebook, just to look. And there it was. A post from my mother. Public. Heartbroken tonight. Carla is hurt and shaken after an unprovoked outburst. Family should never feel unsafe. Prayers appreciated. There were already 30 comments. Prayers, hugs. Sending love. One woman I barely knew offered to start a GoFundMe. My ears rang. I picked up my phone and called her. She picked up on the second ring. Lucy, sweetheart, I don't think now is the time. You're posting publicly like you were even there? She hesitated. Carla told me everything. She's traumatized. I have the footage. That shut her up. I'm sending it to you. You'll see what really happened. I don't need to see your little video. You're married to a man who edits media for a living. I don't trust a thing that comes out of your house. I nearly dropped the phone. Are you serious? You always protect Ellie no matter what she does. Carla's the one in pain, and you're making this about your precious daughter. I laughed, not because it was funny, because it was insane. You'd rather believe a lie than admit your favorite screwed up. She's your sister, she snapped. Blood matters. Truth matters more. Then I hung up, hard. Rick stepped back in, saw my face, and didn't ask a thing. I walked straight past him, into the kitchen, and deleted Facebook off my phone. I didn't want to see another fake prayer or manipulative hashtag. Let them talk. I had the truth, and I wasn't afraid to use it. I reinstalled Facebook long enough to send her the damn video. No message, no comment, just the file. I wanted her to see it raw. No excuses, no room to twist my words. After I hit send, I watched the screen, waiting for the read receipt. 5 minutes passed, 10, then my phone rang. It was her. I picked up, already bracing myself. What the hell is this? She hissed. It's proof, I said, calm as I could manage. You just watched your daughter fake an injury and lie to police. Don't do this, she said. Don't fall for your own husband's tricks. He works in media, Lucy. You expect me to believe this wasn't doctored? You think we faked a security camera video? I think Rick has the software and the time. You two have always had it out for Carla. I blinked, stunned. You think we staged your daughter throwing herself down a set of stairs? I think you'd go to any length to protect your kid. You always have. She didn't do anything. She pushed her, she snapped. We heard it straight from Carla. She wouldn't lie about something like that. She did lie. You just watched her do it. There was a pause, the kind where you know the next sentence will burn. She was scared, Lucy. Traumatized. You have no idea what she's been dealing with. Ellie's the one being investigated right now. Ellie's the one who got hauled into a police station because Carla wanted to play victim in front of an audience. You think that's okay? I think you're so blinded by that girl, you'd throw your own sister under a bus without blinking. I actually laughed. A short, bitter sound. You know what? This isn't about proof. You just don't care. You picked your side, and facts don't matter. I'm not doing this with you, she snapped. Yeah, you are. My voice dropped low. You made a public post about my daughter without a single fact. You took a story you didn't even witness and ran with it because it came from the golden child. You know what that says about you? Silence. It says you never saw Ellie. Not once. You saw what you wanted and ignored everything else. You're unhinged. No, I'm done. I hung up. She didn't call back. Rick walked in, holding his phone. You okay? Nope, not even a little. He stood there for a second, then said, We need legal on this. Tonight I nodded. Find someone. He went to his desk, typing fast. I stood in the kitchen, staring at the broken edge of the tile where I'd dropped that plate earlier. The whole house felt colder. 15 minutes later, Rick called me over. This guy's good, straight shooter. He'll meet with us tomorrow. Send him the footage. Everything. I texted Ellie to come out and eat, but she didn't respond. I let her be. She'd had enough for one day. I sat down at the table and opened my laptop. No more waiting to see what they'd do next. If they wanted war, I was done playing nice. The next morning, we met the lawyer in a small office near downtown. His name was Trent. No small talk, no BS. He shook our hands, sat down, and got right to it. Walk me through it. We gave him everything. Footage, Ellie's full statement, contact info for 3 of her friends who were there that night. I handed over a printout of the timestamps, and Rick forwarded the video straight to his secure server. Trent watched it twice, quiet, leaning forward with his elbows on his desk. When it ended, he sat back. Okay, that's not a gray area. That's a false report. She's not just lying, I said. She's manipulating the whole situation to ruin Ellie's name. And now my mother's throwing gasoline on it. You did the right thing bringing it to me, he said. I'll flag this for review. Don't post it anywhere. No public statements. We're going the clean way. We left feeling slightly better, like maybe the truth had a chance. But the calm didn't last long. 3 days later, my phone rang while I was folding laundry. Unknown number again. Hello? Hi, this is Detective Saunders with the Wilton Police Department. Am I speaking with Lucy Harding? Yes. I just wanted to inform you that in addition to the original complaint from Carla Daniels, we've now received 2 sworn witness statements from your parents, Thomas and Carol Rivers, both stating they personally witnessed your daughter push Carla down the steps. I sat down on the edge of the bed, nearly dropping the phone. What? They claim they were present at the time of the incident and that Ellie shoved her aunt with both hands. That information has been added to the active file. They weren't even there. They weren't anywhere near my house. That's between you and your attorney, he said. Just keeping you informed. I hung up and stared at the floor for a solid minute. Rick came into the room. What happened? My parents just filed sworn statements saying they saw Ellie push Carla, like they were standing on the damn porch. His face turned red. They're out of their minds. They weren't even at the house. You know where they were? I got up, grabbed my laptop, and pulled up their social media pages. They were at that stupid charity wine auction in Ridgeville. They posted about it. Look, 8:15 p.m., cheesy picture with the mayor. Carla's incident was at 8:30. Ridgeville's 40 minutes from here. Rick looked like he wanted to throw something. They lied to the cops on record. That's a felony. And you know what else? I added, scrolling faster. Melanie's mom saw them there. She volunteers at the event every year. That gave me an idea. I opened the group chat from Ellie's birthday and scrolled through all the photos her friends had posted. There it was, time-stamped photo at 8:27 p.m., Carla walking in with her drunk little entourage, no parents in sight. Then I messaged our next-door neighbor, Carol Ann. She replied in less than a minute, No, your parents weren't there that night. I remember because I was outside with my dog and saw the whole scene with Carla. But your folks? Definitely not there. I think they were at that fundraiser, right? Bingo. I took screenshots, labeled them by time and date, then printed every last one. Rick sent it all to Trent, who replied, "Got it. I'll organize and submit to authorities by the end of the day." By dinner, we had a full digital file with a summary sheet, timeline, video evidence, and statements from 6 separate people, all lined up, clean, and easy to read. Ellie didn't say much that night. She just ate her food, earbuds in, eyes hollow. "They're trying to destroy her," I whispered to Rick. "They're not gonna win." I believed him. But God, I wanted to see them burn for this. The call came on a Thursday morning, just after Ellie left for school. I was scrubbing dishes when my phone buzzed. "This is Trent," the lawyer said. "They're dropping the case." I gripped the edge of the sink. "Say that again?" "The charges against Ellie are officially dismissed. No criminal record, no court. They've reviewed the footage and all supplemental evidence. It's over." At least for her, I let out a shaky breath. "And Carla?" "Offered a deal. Community service, restitution for the phone, and mandatory counseling. That's it? It's something. It's not jail, but it's a public mark." The prosecutor wasn't playing games once he saw how deep the lie ran. "And my parents?" He paused, then said, "Fined. False statements, civil penalty. Couple $1,000 each." Enough to sting. I thanked him, hung up, and just stood there for a second. It was good news. It was what we fought for. But I didn't feel victorious. I felt hollow. 2 days later, Ellie and I sat in a small conference room with beige walls and a circle of plastic chairs, waiting for the mediation to start. Carla walked in late, sunglasses on indoors, lips pressed tight like someone had forced her to show up at gunpoint. She didn't say a word, didn't look at us. She sat across the circle like I was invisible. The mediator introduced herself, gave the usual legal rundown, then turned to Carla. "Anything you'd like to say to your niece before we begin?" Carla shifted in her seat. "I'm here to comply," she said flatly. "That's it." I looked at Ellie. Her jaw was set, eyes steady. She wasn't going to speak unless she had to. The meeting dragged on. The mediator asked questions. Carla gave clipped, cold answers. No apology, no acknowledgement, not even a fake one. When asked if she accepted the terms of her community service and restitution, she said, "Whatever," and signed the paper without looking up. Ellie signed next. Her hand didn't shake. We walked out of that room in silence. Once we hit the parking lot, Ellie finally said, "She's never going to admit it, is she?" "Nope," I said. "But that doesn't make it less true," she nodded. "I know." We got in the car. Before I pulled out, my phone buzzed again. It was Trent. "Thought you should know," he said. "Your parents paid their fines this morning. No appeal, no statements." So that was it. Not justice, not closure, but at least the fire was out. Ellie leaned back in her seat, staring out the window. "Does this mean it's over?" I didn't answer right away. I just watched the road in front of me. "I think so," I said finally. "Or close enough." She didn't speak the rest of the ride. Neither did I. But when we got home, she headed to the kitchen, grabbed pancake mix, and started cracking eggs like she needed to move again. I grabbed the skillet and joined her. We didn't talk about Carla, or my parents, or the mess they left behind. We just made breakfast. Together. I was in line at the pharmacy when my phone started going off like crazy. Texts, pings, 2 missed calls from Melanie's mom. I checked my notifications, Facebook, a post from my mother tagged publicly. We're living in a time where truth can be digitally erased. These deepfake tools are dangerous and real. My daughter and granddaughter have torn this family apart, but we still pray for healing. Then Carla shared it with her own caption. "You think you know what happened? You only know what was edited. I'll never stop speaking the truth, even if it costs me everything." Family first. Go victim of lies. I froze in the middle of the checkout lane. The nerve. The guts it took to still spin this into a pity party after everything they pulled. By the time I got home, the comments were already rolling. Some people bought it. "So sorry you're going through this. That video did seem too convenient. Praying for the real victim." Others pushed back. Melanie had commented, "I was there." Ellie didn't touch her. Carla showed up drunk and caused the scene. A kid from Ellie's art class wrote, "Everyone knows Carla's a mess. She's not a victim. She's a liar." Then someone else posted the screenshot of Carla's fall with the timestamp. I didn't even know who it was, just some classmate of Ellie's who apparently had enough. My inbox lit up again. This time it was a message from Aunt Laura, my mom's sister. Lucy, I'm sorry. I didn't know how bad it got. I saw the video. I believe you. I believe Ellie. If you ever want to talk, I'm here. 10 minutes later, my cousin Mallory sent a similar one. She said she'd heard about the posts and was disgusted. You did what any mom would do, probably more. Don't let them spin this. You're not the villain here. I sat on the couch with my phone in my lap, breathing hard. Rick walked in from the garage. You see it? Yep, the deepfake lies tour has begun. He looked tired. You want me to respond? Nope, I'm done responding. I opened Facebook, clicked through to my mom's profile. Then Carla's. Block, block. No warning. No long paragraph. Just silence. Rick watched me do it and nodded. Good. Ellie came downstairs and flopped onto the armrest beside me. I saw the posts. I know. I don't care what they say, she said. It's just noise. But I could see it in her eyes. It still hurt. She leaned into my side and I put my arm around her. We sat there, no TV, no music, just a quiet house finally free from their chaos. No more waiting for them to own up. They never would. So we stopped giving them space in our lives. Ellie stayed next to me on the couch, quiet, her head resting on my shoulder. I scrolled through my phone one last time, checked my blocked list, and added their numbers too. Home, cell, work, every way they might reach me. Then I said it out loud, like a line I'd been waiting years to say. I'm done. Ellie looked up. For good? For good, I said. No more calls, no more texts, no more maybe next time. They made their choice. She didn't answer right away. Then she asked, Are you sure? Like really sure? I turned to face her. Ellie, we gave them every chance. Everyone. They used everyone to lie, humiliate, or gaslight us. I'm not opening that door again. She let out a long breath, like she'd been holding it for weeks. Good, she said. I don't want to pretend anymore. The next morning, we didn't rush. No alarms, no appointments, no plans. I came downstairs and found her already in the kitchen, sleeves rolled up, pancake mix open. She looked over her shoulder and grinned. Your turn to flip, I laughed. Only if you don't judge me for burning the first batch. We made way too many pancakes, blueberry, chocolate chip, plain, one with crushed pretzels just to see how weird it could get. She stacked them high on 2 plates and doused them in syrup like a 5-year-old. Then we dragged all the blankets to the living room, curled up on the couch, and put on some cheesy old rom-com she liked. I didn't even know the title. Didn't care. Halfway through, she said, You didn't have to fight this hard for me. I muted the TV. Yeah, I did. You're my kid. She smiled, eyes glassy. Thanks for not letting them break me. I pulled her closer. They don't get that power. Not over you. Not over this house. She nodded, settled back in, and pressed play. For the first time in months, the quiet didn't feel like a threat. It felt like peace, the kind that doesn't come with hashtags or filtered smiles. Just pancakes, a warm blanket, and my daughter safe in her home. Not perfect, but solid, real. And that was enough. The leaves were already starting to change by the time I heard about Carla. She'd finished her community service, 60 hours at the local food bank, handing out boxed potatoes and instant stuffing to people who didn't want to hear her drama. Word was, she hated every minute, showed up late, complained the whole time, acted like manual labor was some kind of human rights violation. I didn't care. Let her hate it. Let her learn something or don't. Not my problem anymore. My parents, still silent, not a call, not a text. Just distance, which was fine by me. But then one of my old high school friends, who still went to the same church as them, forwarded me a message she got. It's been a painful season for our family. Forgiveness matters. So does guarding against misinformation. No names, no context. Just vague guilt bait, wrapped in Bible verses. I didn't respond. I didn't even react. Just deleted it and went back to my day. Ellie had bigger things on her plate anyway. College apps, SAT study books stacked all over the dining table. Sticky notes on the fridge with deadlines and essay prompts. She was locked in. One night, after she went to bed, I opened her laptop to print something and noticed a Word doc left open. What I learned from a ruined birthday. That was the title. I read it slowly, eyes skimming over each line. She wrote about truth, about standing up even when people twist the story. about how sometimes the people closest to you are the ones who do the most damage, but that it doesn't mean you have to become like them. She didn't mention names, she didn't have to. When I finished, I just sat there staring at the screen, proud, a little heartbroken, but mostly just grateful. She'd survived it. We both had. The next morning, I woke up to the smell of pancakes. I walked downstairs, same messy bun, same worn out slippers, and there she was, flipping a stack like it was Saturday tradition. No pretzel ones today, she said with a grin. Thank God. We sat down and ate together, syrup dripping off the edges of our plates, the house warm and quiet. No more chaos, no more fake apologies or guilt trips, just us. Solid, steady, unbothered. The ones who showed up when it mattered,